Hello from Harrelson Trumpets, Denver. I'm wearing a hat today because it's cold in the shop, and I want to stay warm. I want to discuss, excuse me, and I'm getting over a cold. I want to discuss ordering a 5mm mouthpiece. I've helped hundreds of people order 5mm mouthpieces based on their preferences, and I have a ton of people that are calling and emailing and even asking on Facebook about how they would go about ordering a 5mm that fits them. Especially since we just started the 100 for 100 promotion. I'm going to give you an example. Here we have the equivalent of a Bach 3C, and I don't know if you can see the numbers on that, but this one, our shop demos have the numbers machined on them. And I also have Monet B4L. I had a client who called in and they wanted to be able to play on a Bach 3C and a Monet B4L equivalent in one mouthpiece. They wanted to be able to exchange the parts and really just be able to play them both. So they wanted a lead situation with the B4L, and they wanted to have more of an orchestral or symphonic solo type setup on the 3C. Well, the problem with going between both of those is only the rim. The rest of it is easy. But a Bach rim tends to be very rounded and sharper than a Monet rim on the B4L. And this is the Bach and this is the Monet. Again, I don't know what the video quality is there, but this one's very flat on the top. It has less radius on the inside of the rim. And the Bach is very rounded. It's not as wide, and the radius on the inside and the outside is much larger. And these two mouthpieces are somewhat similar throughout the rest of the mouthpiece once you get past the rim. So what I suggest is choosing one rim or the other and sticking with that rim and then just changing other components. It's as easy as setting up your mouthpiece with the rim that's going to work best for you. So in this case, I would say the Monet rim is probably a better option because it's going to give you more endurance. It doesn't give you quite as much flexibility because it has less of a radius on the inside. But if you learn to pull the mouthpiece away a little bit, then you still have that flexibility. I play on something closer to the flat rim, and I have no problem with flexibility. So you want to choose which rim you're really going to stay with, and then after that we can mix and match the components. So I can literally say, all right, we've got this Monet rim and the whole setup here. If I want to make this exactly the same as a 3C, all I'd have to do is change the cup, the throat, and maybe the backbore. And the backbore on these two actually is the same. So you don't only have to change the cup and the throat. You could do other things to change that, but it would be as simple as unscrewing this one and then putting those components, the cup and the throat, into the other mouthpiece. So it's really that simple. If you wanted to have more brightness in your tone or more darkness, then we would change the throat entrance. And both of these are fairly standard entrances. They're pretty big and dark sounding. But we can make it very bright by changing the throat entrance. If you want it to be more focused as it projects out the horn, then you want a smaller backbore, less of a taper. If you want it to spread out, then you want a bigger taper. So if the backbore ends in a 31, that means it's a small taper. And if it ends in a 37, it's large. And we have all the sizes in between. What other options would you really consider? The cup shape is very important. I recommend staying on the cup depth, the same depth all the time. If you've been playing on a shallow cup for lead and a deeper cup for everything else, I recommend making a compromise and getting a cup that's somewhere between those. We offer cup sizes that are half and third sizes between normal cups. In other words, the B4L and the 3C, we have two cup sizes that fit between those. So you can have a compromise between those two. If you played on a 14A4A and something like a B4L, then we have cup sizes between those as well. So you want to settle on one cup size and then change the shape. If you have a standard cup shape, let me set these down so I can talk about it. If you have a standard cup shape, then that's going to be more like a bowl, and that's going to produce a good attack and a nice tone. But if you wanted it to be a softer attack and a darker tone, you'd have more of a V shape, and we offer a V. If you wanted the nice attack but the V shape type sound where it's warmer, then that's our triple cup, which has 3 little ridges in it. And if you wanted something that has a really great attack and more front end, so it's a little harder or harsher, then you would choose one of our compression cups, which is known as C or D. D is more compression than C. So all these things we can discuss on the phone or on email. I know Joe and Christine are working with 5mm clients right now, filling their orders and discussing what's going to work for them. And the phone will probably ring any minute, and I'll be working with one of you as well if my voice holds up. But the best way to find what's going to work for you is just let us know what you're looking for, and we'll walk you through it. Because we've experienced it, we've worked with all these parts, and it would be better if we just helped you set it up the first time than guessing about the numbers. The numbers exist just because they help us all understand it once you get into it, but you don't need to know the numbers to get started. The last thing I wanted to say about that is, let's see, what was it? This is what happens when you're sick. You forget what you're talking about. We have the 5mm page on Facebook, and we're going to start using that more and more often. So we encourage all of you that have a 5mm to start sharing your experiences on the 5mm Facebook page. I think it's a 5mm Modular Mouthpiece page or community. And if you start putting your information there, and let's say you take a photo of your components and you list out and say, hey, this is what I'm playing on, this is why I'm using it for lead, and these are the things I changed to play, say, jazz combo or classical or whatever it might be. If you start sharing that information on that page, then other people who are looking into it will say, wait a minute, I didn't know you could do that, and they'll learn things from you, and you guys could all be sharing this information. That would be great, because you could all learn a lot more about it through each other's experiences, rather than us here at Harrelson Trumpets kind of holding all the information because we deal with you. So start sharing that on that 5mm community page, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.